Is it recording? It's actually recording. We did it! It's actually recording!
All right, guys, this time for real. Welcome to Cole and Noah, our friends, episode 9, the actual time. So Cole and I just recorded, well, quote-unquote recorded about 30 minutes of podcast.
Noah and I just hung out as friends, assuming our conversation was being recorded for probably 15, 17 minutes before I looked at the audio recorder and it wasn't recording.
So quick update on what we talked about, story-wise. There's a Winnie the Pooh horror movie coming out called Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Cole laughed really hard at that. I met a person at One who was my drummer. His name is Nick Johnson. He's fantastic. We both love Robert Pattinson's Batman. He's our favorite on-screen Batman. His Batmobile's the best by way of us. We need to hang out and watch that movie together, Nick. We said that. We were eating, so there's a lot of smacking going on.
There was. We talked about Jackson Dwozniak.
He wants to pay for Steven. We might set up a Patreon, or you can Venmo us, or give us cash, or carrier pigeon with money, whatever you choose. Toys R Us gift cards.
Talked about American Ninja Warrior.
Cole wanted to be on it for a while. Built a salmon ladder. Nearly impaled one of his friends.
Ethan Fritzler. We love you.
I think that
was the short. Yeah, that was a pretty good.
And then
cover.
the lost episode from the very first episode we recorded that didn't get recorded, we talked about Multiverse Madness, Stranger Things, and a bunch of other things. So just to tell you guys about that. I'm trying to think of anything else that we missed. It was pretty good, but you know what? This one is going to be better.
It is.
Everything happens for a reason. And no matter how sad we are, we'll be way more focused because there's no food. And guess what? That leaves us more time to talk about that scumbag Ryan Johnson. Just kidding. I don't know him. And Knives Out was pretty good.
Just kidding. I don't have any beef with Ryan Johnson. I think he's a really great director. But you have a thing that you shared with me.
I sent it to you, and this is very funny. I just saw an IGN on Facebook because I am 28 going on 57, and I still scroll Facebook. That says, Ryan Johnson is even more proud of Star Wars Last Jedi now. He says, he's quoted as saying, I'm even more proud of it 5 years on. When I was up at bat, I really swung at the ball, the writer-director told Empire. And I just sent Cole, ha 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 ha, because my finger couldn't find the H and it just capitalized a bunch of H's. And then I said, looks like you've got some reading to do before our next pod. And Cole said, yeesh. And then when I was up at bat, I really swung at the ball. You forgot the part where you missed. And that's it. So, Cole, I'd love to know your thoughts on that whole...
Oh, man.
That whole quote of his.
I'll tell you, I don't understand why anyone is proud of that. Okay, no, I don't understand why people like the movie. And Trevor said this earlier. We were talking to Trevor, and he said what I have felt, and I think a lot of people feel, as a standalone movie, it's not a bad movie. Like, there's a lot in it that's really, really great, except for there's a pretty great breakdown of how terrible the choreography is in one of the last fights with like the guard people. That's just bad. Otherwise, most of it, it's not a bad movie on its own, but because of the context it sits in, because of the trilogy it is the middle of, it is a bad story. It is not a good... it's not a good middle movie to a trilogy, I think, personally. So, I don't know why Ryan is so proud of that movie. But it makes me want to understand more. There is actually a part of me now that's like, okay, I kind of want to rewatch these and try to find the things that people do love and see if there is, like, what am I missing? I don't think I'm going to love it. But I know there are strong fandoms.
True.
Around it, and I don't understand, especially because Ryan is a good director. Like I've seen at least one of his other movies, and it's so good.
Yeah, I just think in the context of that trilogy, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it's just kind of like, nah, forget everything you just saw.
Yeah. So that's my like actually trying really hard to answer that question. My not trying really hard to answer that question. Answer is that's stupid. Stop it,
Ryan Johnson. Knives Out is your better work.
It's your better work. Yeah. Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
No.
No.
No. Okay. I don't really have a reason not to be. I actually went and saw all of those movies in theaters.
Did you
they came
really?
out. Yeah. So
how old were you?
When did the first one come out? Let us look.
You weren't in high school yet, were you?
No, not even
close.
No chance. Lord of the Rings came out. They came out between 2001 and 2003. So I was...
Wow.
Fellowship of the Ring, I was 7.
Dude, yeah.
I was 8 and 9 when I saw those movies.
Okay.
7, 8, 9.
Sure did.
Yeah, so I was 7, 8, and 9 for those movies, and that's the last time I've seen them. And I've never seen any of the Hobbits.
That's fine. You don't need to see The Hobbit. You don't need to see The Hobbits. They're terrible movies. I'm sorry, Brett.
He's not going to listen anymore.
He's not going to listen. I honestly wonder how long... Brett Ballard, I love you. You're amazing. Our opinions on movies are polar opposites, and I appreciate that we are still friends.
Not always. I bet you'd feel the same about some Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah, totally. But outside of Marvel, I think his opinion on Star Wars, abysmal. His opinion on The Hobbits, infuriating. But Brett Ballard is such an amazing man, and I love him, and I get so heated about my movie opinions, and Brett is he's always smiling, and he's always happy, and he's like...
That's because for Brett, man. He's like, hey, man, I get it, but I like it.
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
deep down...
That's your opinion, but I like it.
Deep down, I'm afraid that Brett Ballard is going to leave me because my opinion about movies is so passionate and so poised against his opinion about movies, and I just appreciate every day that Brett Ballard doesn't leave me because of those things. So thank you, Brett.
Never leave, Brett. Never leave.
Never leave, Brett.
Side note, this is very random, and then we'll get back to Lord of the Rings. Actually, no. Finish your Lord of the Rings.
We don't have to. I was going to say, on the subject of like people who made things that the fans are like, wow, right? There's a new series coming out with Lord of the Rings, and a lot of the few people that I've talked to and the few videos I've watched, which is not comprehensive, from like I would say true fans, true Tolkien fans, are not at all excited about this. It's a new series. Amazon bought Lord of the Rings.
I saw that.
And they're making a series, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And this is going to take place before, like, The Hobbit, before... Obviously.
Can we stop with the prequels of the prequels of the prequels? Can we stop?
Well, that's the thing about Tolkien's work is he actually made a ton of, like, pre-Hobbit lore. There's a ton of established story that dates way before, like, the movies that most of us are aware of. And that's... like kind of what this is a show about that time period. And one of the biggest gripes about it is this is so far what's been shown is already not accurate to the writings of Tolkien. It's taking characters and putting them in scenarios that they were never in, or reassigning roles and responsibilities to characters. It's supposed to focus real hard on Galadriel, and she's like this big warrior deal in the show, and that's like, I guess that's actually like kind of contradictory to what her established like story arc was prior to the Rings. So there are already people who are like, this feels like another big company that's taking an established fandom and trying to shoehorn maybe a specific moral message in it, and it's frustrating because once again we feel like we, the fans of an existing thing, are watching that existing thing get taken over by someone's just intention to put a message in a movie that was maybe never part of the original writings. So, but I never read anything. But I read the Lord of the Rings books a couple years ago. I did not read The Hobbit. I did not read the Silmarillion or anything else by Tolkien. So I can't say from my own experience. I can just say that this is coming out, and a lot of people are angry about it.
Yeah, I'm sick of the let's do a prequel, and then let's do a prequel, and then let's do a prequel to the prequel that's a prequel to the prequel that's prequels the prequel's prequel. I don't like that. Like, I understand certain times it works. Obviously, Star Wars, you had to go back to go forward, kind of. I feel like they're going to do that if they make another Red Dead Redemption. They're just going to go back again. It'll be the start of the Vanderlyn gang. And I'm like, no, can we just move forward? Can we just see a new story? Why do we have to keep going back? Because the thing for me that it does a lot of times is I'm like, filling out the lore. With Star Wars, it's really cool because you got to see how Vader became Vader, right? That's awesome. The thing for me that I don't like with certain ones is like, yeah, you get to see, maybe it's just because I'm not invested in certain stories, but like, there's just certain things that I'm like, I don't need to see the beginning of this. I know how it ends. I like with Red Dead Redemption 2, going back and seeing the start of John Marston and all that stuff. That's really cool. That's great. Wonderful. Awesome. Whatever. But I didn't need to see it because I know where all of those stories go, and I don't know the ins and outs of them, and I didn't know some of the characters and things like that, and I didn't know why I should hate these characters, but I'm just so sick of... I don't know. I probably until they do a Batman one, and then I'm like, oh, I love it. Oh, Batman. Like, I don't know, man. I just feel like certain properties handle it really well. Like Batman in that universe, you have Gotham.
Yep.
But I feel like Batman's so much. I don't know. It's probably just because I care way more about the character, but I just don't understand.
I wonder if it's like a creative risk thing. Like it's I imagine it's riskier to take. Like who? It's a shame we don't have bleep money. Because Stephen Voss, we were talking to Stephen Voss, and he was saying how he likes the prequels better than the sequels of Star Wars. And then he said, I like the prequels better than the originals. And then we walked away. That's not exactly what happened.
I think probably one thing of that, if I had to guess, I'm gonna eisegete Steven's words here. And I'm going to assume it's because the prequels look a lot better and are much easier to take into a younger kid's eyes than the older ones are. And when you're growing up, because those would have come out, Steven's 21, so he was born in 2001. So he literally would have been, by the time he watched those, maybe 7, 8.
Yeah.
And those movies had already been out. And then he would have been at the peak. So like he would have been 5 or 6 at the time of Revenge of the Sith coming out. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. That's probably part of it.
Yeah.
And then maybe he just likes the characters better.
Yeah. I can think of plenty of reasons somebody who's not like a deep Star Wars fan would like the prequels better than the originals. There's a lot of stuff about the prequels that I like more than the originals. The prequels did a really good job of saying, man, what if Jedi, when they actually fought with their lightsabers, were like really good at fighting with lightsabers?
Rather than what they were in the 70s and 80s.
And the duels that they choreographed were so cool. And I was like, oh man, yeah, that's what
and that
what
helps
it
with
should feel
technology
like.
too.
Totally. So anyways, the reason I brought it up is I wonder if with the making of prequels for things, it is creatively less risky than to take an established story and then say, okay, now what happens next? Because maybe you can screw up more in the let's tell story that doesn't exist yet versus let's make a prequel that sheds more light on a story we already know exists.
That's true.
And we know kind of like what works.
I guess I wonder if that's why comics have somewhat of an advantage because there's so many stories that have yet to be shown on a screen.
Yeah.
Like so many. Because you think of like Batman, when they start over, it's rarely ever new. It's like new adjacent. It's like a story that's been told, but not really, kind of. Yeah. Kind of, but not really. And so I wonder if that's why comics have kind of an advantage. I mean, I also think fandoms just are never going to be fully happy. It's rare that you make an entire fandom happy.
No.
And I wish I cared about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and things. Actually, I don't really care, truthfully. I don't wish.
That's okay.
I don't know what it is. There's certain stories like that I just don't gravitate towards. I said the same thing recently. Somebody asked me if I'd read the Chronicles of Narnia, and I was like, no, never seen any of the movies.
Yep.
And I don't know what it is. I just can't bring myself to care about it too much.
It's just not interesting to me.
It's just that I don't care.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
But I respect them for what they are because they're like beautiful movies.
Yes.
All of them. All the things I just mentioned.
Yep.
But I don't know. The world may never know.
The world may never know.
Cole, I don't know if I had this thought or not, or if I shared this on podcast or not, so it'll be another Avatar: The Last Airbender situation.
Great.
But I think it's very funny. In the new Batman movie,
yes,
there's a scene after he gets the thumb drive and he finds out, oh, Penguin's involved. I'm going to go to the Iceberg Lounge. And there's a scene where it shows him walking up in the rain.
Oh my gosh. I just realized that the Penguin is in the iceberg.
Yeah. The Iceberg Lounge.
I've only seen the movie once, so there's that. But
well, that's like his hangout in comic books too.
That makes so much sense.
So the Penguin's in the Iceberg Lounge, and he, like Batman walks up to go there, and it shows him looking at the club, walking up from a distance.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is a seedy part of the city, so maybe people aren't just like out.
Sure.
But can you imagine being like in your house or your apartment and just looking down and seeing this dude in a leather combat suit walking towards a bar and then just being like, is that, I mean, I've heard rumors about the Batman. Is that
the Batman?
He's just walking slowly up to this club drenched in red light and just, then he gets to the door and you see him just, the funniest part to me is Batman knocks on the door to like not create a stir. He just, The thought of seeing that, like this dude who's clearly ready for war goes up and just knocks on a door, and this guy's like, you know who, he opens the door, he's like, you know who I am, and the door shuts in his face, and just picturing Batman like pausing while he's waiting for the next dude to come back and just like looking around, like scanning around. Like the Batman in between is a very funny thing in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you imagine like this whole situation? And then all of a sudden Batman, you can't hear anything. He just gets enraged, starts fighting these guys. A door shuts. This guy goes, I got him. And then they go inside and the door shuts and you're just like, what is going on? And then the thought of Batman leaving is also funny. Like he just walks out with police, opens the door and leaves. They're like superheroes in between is really funny.
Right.
Batman, obviously, it's a little different. You couldn't do that. Spider-Man is one that I could actually see that happening.
Totally.
Like in the fast travel sequences in Spider-Man on PS4 and PS5.
Yes,
he's like sleeping on the train
subway.
or things like that. Yeah, he's sleeping. He's reading his text. He's like dancing with somebody or whatever. So I just think it's superheroes in between is a very funny concept for me.
That would be funny. You said something that made me think of, there's this thing we're doing called the State of the City Project, and I'll cut to the chase. It involves collecting like survey information from people in their homes, and I'm helping with it. So I have been going door to door, asking people questions about what they think about their community. Like, how long you lived here? What do you like about it? What would you like to see changed? Do you have any ideas about it? How a caring church could help, and yada, 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 stuff like that. It's a really cool project. I'm actually stoked about the results of it. But I had this encounter yesterday that was so much fun. I had one the other day where this dude was so bluntly honest. I loved it. He was like, nah, man, I'm playing video games.
That's awesome.
And I was like, dude, go get it.
That's awesome.
But I walked up to this house yesterday, and I rang the doorbell, and just awkwardly standing there waiting. And then this woman, there's a window right next to the door. This woman walks up and looks at me through the window, and she just kind of like waves at me, and I'm smiling, and I'm like, and I wave at her too, which has worked great. When I do my friendly wave, people are like, oh, he's a friendly guy. All right, we'll go out there and talk to him. It works most of the time. So I wave, and I'm smiling, and then she just waves again, and then I waved again, and then she just looks at me and kind of like nods and then waves again, and I was
trying to get you to leave.
Yeah, I was like, oh, do you want? And I I pointed at her, and then I pointed behind me. I said, you want me to go? And she just keeps waving. I was like, all right, okay, bye.
At that moment, I would crawl in a hole and die. I would.
Oh, it hasn't been too bad.
I hate that.
Yeah, you should go with me sometime.
The thought of going door to door asking people to take a survey, I cannot stand that. The thought, it's just like when we had to make phone calls during COVID.
Dude, that was crazy.
One of my worst nightmares.
If you don't know when COVID hit as a church, we obviously stopped meeting, and our single focus as a church for the next month was calling literally every human being in our database.
Ever been to LifeGate? Not even people who still currently go.
Yep.
It's anyone who has ever come here and signed into a computer or gotten on a rock or whatever.
Checked
so there
your
were
kids
there were
in
like
and
6,000
kids'
names.
ministry. Yeah. There were so many. We purged our database, calling people, asking if we could pray for them, seeing if they needed
financial
anything.
help, if they'd been affected by COVID, were they at risk, how we could pray for them, how we could help them, if they still attended LifeGate. And we went through not just we as a church staff, we went through about 6,000 people.
Yeah, it was insane.
Which
sound on paper sounds like a really, and I still believe it was a good move on our part. I know there were a lot of people who were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're calling me to see if I'm okay.
Yeah.
Wow. But dude, sitting down and being like, all right, time to open the spreadsheet again.
Dude, I would just go in my bedroom and
called.
lock myself in while Taryn, my wife, and my son Can were just sitting in the living room. And I would just lock myself in my room. I sat as close to my wife's dresser as I could, and I propped my laptop up, and I just started scrolling through and calling people.
Yep. So me and Lauren Kraft are both competitive people, and so we and Sarah, being the strategist that she is, Sarah is my boss. Lauren is she's our children's pastor at Papillion, and Sarah basically turned it into a competition, and it was like, okay, let's see who can make the most phone calls in one day. And I was like, I'm going to freaking smoke you, okay? And I because I'm a good boy, and I follow the rules when it comes to competition. And we had some pre-established, like, hey, guys, don't kill yourselves trying to make phone calls. Like, once 4 or 5 o'clock rolls around, one of those, like, be done. Like, be done. Stop it. Be with your family. Dr. Deb had told us, hey, the lines between, like, home and work get real blurry when we're all working from home in this pandemic. So, like, have some strong boundaries for yourself. And I was like, great. So I'm done at 4. I'm going to start at, like, 8 or 9 and be done at 4 every day and do my best. So then we have a competition to see who can make the most phone calls. And I'm like, I'm going to get as many as I can in before 4 o'clock. And I hit over 100 in a single day. Or it was 90-something. I don't know. And I was like, nailed it. Worked all the way up until 4. And then later that day at like 7 p.m., Lauren like types in the last bit for her last call, and she had gotten more than me because she worked 3 hours longer than me. And Sarah was all like, I guess Lauren won. I was like, that's not for you. No, you know what the rules are. You know. You just don't want me to win.
It's a vendetta against you. You're doing this on purpose.
Yeah, so
that's funny.
Yeah, Lauren, air quotes, won, and I'll take it to my grave that I probably technically by 4 o'clock I was winning. I'm pretty sure. Not that it matters, but it does matter. It does matter. It totally matters.
Cole, we also got to pick the NBA Finals, the winner of the NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, the NBA Finals, it's when they do 32 rounds of draft picking. And
there's a draft to see who goes into the finals. So, Cole, let me just read you off some basketball teams.
We're doing this right now.
Oh, yeah, it'll be quick. This one will be quicker because you just got to pick 2 teams. That's it. Here we go. You ready?
Oh, okay.
Golden State Warriors, Celtics, Brooklyn Nets, the Boston Celtics, sorry. LA Lakers, Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, Chicago Bulls, Dallas Mavs.
Are you reading me every single team?
Yep.
Let's go with Milwaukee.
Okay.
Milwaukee's going.
Who are they going against?
San Diego Chargers. That was a joke.
I'm going to say the Seattle Supersonics are going to come back and win.
How about this team? Oh, no, they went away. The Sacramento Kings. Great.
Oh, my gosh.
Sacramento Kings versus the Milwaukee, don't remember their
Bucks.
names. Bucks.
And who's winning?
Bucky.
The Milwaukee Bucky Barnes. All right,
Milwaukee Bucky Barnes.
All right, the Bucks. My friend Ryan Doze is going to love that. He is a huge Bucks fan.
Is he really?
So I'm going to intentionally tell him to listen to this because he'll like our pick for the NBA Finals.
Oh, I miss Ryan.
All right, so Ryan, I'm going to disappoint you because I'm not going to pick them because I'm going to try to do my best with who's won in the last few years. So I'm going to say this year it's probably going to be the Lakers and the Warriors again, and I'm going to say that the Lakers are going to take it.
Take it, Lakers.
Boring picks, I know. I don't have a fancy way to do it.
Boring.
But we'll say the Lakers are going to
My way was not
win.
Fancy. I literally was like, Milwaukee, that sounds fun. I'm just going to poke at the phone. Who's that?
Should we pick the World Series winner as well?
For baseball? Oh, no. Okay. I have an update on the NFL stuff. You know how I was like, hey, I'm a lucky charm?
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't tease this out in the last episode, but I mentioned it briefly before we moved on, how when I've chosen a favorite team, they've won the Super Bowl. And I had picked the Buccaneers in our forecasting who's going to win.
You did.
And then I was like, but wait, does that mean they're my favorite? They're not my favorite. Wait, so if I pick a team to win, but they're not my favorite, will they actually win? Oh, no, I need to figure this out. Who's my favorite team for the year?
Yeah.
And I've almost decided. Because someone approached me, and they said, hey, my team could use your luck. Would you...
People are trying to sway the NFL because Cole said he's a good luck charm. So they're like, please, Cole, please.
Oh, yeah. So a friend of mine, whom you all know, the one and only Josiah Hintz, has put together a PowerPoint presentation for why I should pick the Green Bay Packers to be my favorite team.
He put together a PowerPoint?
He did, and I told him I cannot officially ascribe to this being my favorite team until you convince me. So he's got a PowerPoint ready for me.
What a legend.
And I think he's going to show it to me tomorrow, actually.
Oh, wait, the MLB teams.
So
the Packers might be your favorite team this year?
Yeah, the Packers may be favorite team. Now, I still picked Bucks to go to the Super Bowl. This will be the test of my luck, really. Because every year I picked a favorite team, I didn't say, and they're going to be the champs. I was just like, I like these guys. So... who knows? We'll see. I can't say they're my favorite team yet because I haven't seen the PowerPoint, but
This is a real team, the Seattle Pilots. Oh, no, that's not a team anymore. Okay, I looked up MLB teams, and they gave me a bunch of old ones. The Seattle Pilots, like, the Seattle Pilots? I thought they were the Mariners.
There's more than I know.
All right, Cole, who's winning the World Series this year?
The World Series.
I'm going to say it's going to be the Chicago Cubs. They're doing it again, baby.
Cubs all the way.
Yep.
Cubs.
Go, Cubs, go.
I don't know.
Go,
I could maybe
Cubs,
name
go.
like 3 MLB teams.
Well,
The Red Sox.
Okay.
The
Mm-hmm,
I'm not gonna lie. I keep wanting to say the San Diego Chargers. The Red Sox. The Royals are a team.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs.
Okay.
And
Well, Cole, that's not what I asked you. I asked you who's going to win.
Sorry. All right. Well,
I need your pick for the winner.
I'm going Red Sox and the Royals, baby. All the way. Oh, sorry. The winner, the Red Sox.
Ooh, okay.
Noah's looking at me, just nodding his head like, you're still not answering
No.
my freaking question.
You said it there.
You dummy.
But the reason I looked at you that way is because my brain shut off for a second because I realized something, Cole.
What?
We left the people in our last episode on a cliffhanger.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We did. And now we're coming near to the close of this episode, and so I'm like, do we hang them on some more? Do we let the people know?
Do we hang the people or not?
We don't do that. We don't do that anymore.
Oh, no. Anymore.
Cole, I have another segment that I want to know.
Yes.
And maybe you're just going to say, I don't listen to music, Noah. So, Cole, what is a song that you've been listening to recently that you're like, I want the people to know this song. Listen to this song this week.
This song?
Cole and Noah's recommendations.
Ooh, okay.
Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We'll have Cole and Noah's recommendations for the week. And we'll give a song.
Okay.
A song or band, whichever you choose.
Okay.
A movie.
Okay.
If you have a book.
Okay.
Maybe a video game.
Okay.
Or food. We'll just give different recommendations.
Great.
So this week we'll go food, movie, music.
Food, movie, music.
Yes.
Okay, food I would recommend. I've been enjoying Thai food a little bit more lately.
Yep. We had Thai food a few weeks ago.
We did. We still didn't get to talk about our double date.
Nope.
I had a pineapple chicken curry from Thai Isarn off like 155th and Dodge in Omaha, Nebraska. That thing was amazing. It was so good. The pineapple was so sweet. It was delicious. I highly recommend that. Food. What was the next one?
Food, movie, music.
Food, movie, music, movie.
It doesn't have to be one you've recently seen. It could just be like, you guys should watch this movie.
If you haven't seen Interstellar, what's wrong with you?
I haven't seen Interstellar.
Noah, you haven't seen Interstellar?
No.
Noah Anderson! Ah!
I think they know the answer to Are We Still Friends? From that reaction.
You have to watch this movie. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Does Che Che listen to our podcast?
I don't know.
Che Che needs... the music in Interstellar is amazing. Oh gosh, how do I sum this up? That is my favorite movie of all time.
Yep. You said that, and I think one of the first episodes.
I haven't watched it since I had a daughter. For reasons you will understand if you've seen the movie. It's not terrible. It's just I don't feel like crying. And it is just so awesome. It's such a good movie. And the music in it is beautiful also. And sometimes Che Che will rip some of the when he's playing at like church stuff, right? He'll start playing the Interstellar theme in the background. In fact, he did it today, and I made immediate eye contact with him, and he smiled at me because he knows how much I love it, I think. So, Interstellar. Watch Interstellar. And then if you care about the narrative in movies, ask yourself, what is the point of the movie? And trying to figure it out, because it's not what you might think it is. It's
Space.
so good. Space. Okay, so food, movie, music.
You can do band and song if you so choose.
Okay, I'm gonna do
or album.
I'm gonna do one of each actually.
Yes.
So the song I've been listening to, I think you actually showed me, and I added it to my workout playlist because it gets me going so much.
Was it
is
Dayseeker?
No, it is a rendition of "Running Up That Hill" by
Loveless.
No, it's by Our Last Night.
Oh, that's even different.
Oh, you didn't show me that one?
No, I showed you the one by Running Up or by Loveless.
Oh, okay. So,
But yes, the Our Last Night one is great as well.
Running Up That Hill by Our Last Night, dude, gets me going. And I love it. I also stumbled across the version of Come Together from Justice League. I never saw Justice League, so it just like music recommended it. I know, and I won't.
The Zack Snyder one is fine.
Yeah. That version of Come Together is actually pretty great. I added that to my workout playlist too. So, Running Up That Hill, and then Lawrence, the band.
Oh, yeah.
Do it?
Yeah.
Do you know Lawrence?
Yeah. They're signed to Beautiful Mind, which is John Bellion's record label.
Dude, I had tickets to their concert when they were in Omaha.
My friend Ryan Musinski loves Lawrence.
Oh my gosh. Dude.
Loves Lawrence.
I got sick that day. I couldn't go see them.
Oh,
I was
no.
actually so sad because I listened to their albums like more. Now I listen to them more than I listen to Ben Rector, and I used to listen to Ben Rector all the time. So, yeah, those are my recommendations.
Dang.
There you go.
All right, food recommendation for me. I don't really have any great food recommendations.
This was your idea.
I know. Go eat pizza this week. Go enjoy some pizza. That's it. Lighthouse Pizza. If you haven't had Lighthouse Pizza in Omaha, Nebraska, go eat Lighthouse. It's fantastic, and the slices of pizza are so big.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
They're great. Movie. I mean, I'm always going to say the Batman.
Stop.
I'm always going to say the Batman, but this week specifically, I'm going to say go watch Hot Rod because it's so good. It's so funny. Also, my son, we started watching the Lego Movie together. I've seen it before. He hasn't. Lego Movie's a great movie.
It's
a
amazing.
great movie. He is still on the fence because it takes him a little bit to like movies. So, but I'll say watch Hot Rod because it's so funny and I love it so much. And then report back to Cole and I your thoughts.
Yep.
You won't change my opinion on it. So good luck. I don't know why I said that.
You'll need to tell me whether or not it's worth watching because I still haven't seen it.
Yes. And then music. So I have been listening to a lot of Dayseeker, which I told you about. Dayseeker's a metalcore band, and they're so look at that, boom, right there. That was the last song I heard at the gym today.
Oh, nice.
So Dayseeker. I've been listening to a lot more pop punk. I saw a band last week called Real Friends, and they're great.
That's a fire alarm. Well.
Listen to Dayseeker. Listen to Dayseeker. That's it. What an ending. Okay. Cole, they're never going to know if we're still friends. Who knows if we'll make it? There might be a real fire, Cole. Are we still friends? Tune in next time to find out if Cole and I are still alive. Bye.